right. We're going to start here in just a few minutes. Just a few minutes. Posting everything out online right now. Well. All right, guys, bear with me. Got just a few more minutes. Got just a few more minutes. We're going to kick off tonight. Like, share, and subscribe. If you would, go check us out at notonthepayroll.com. All right, getting messages. Tonight's going to be interesting. Hopefully I can get through it without freaking out. Okay. If you are out there and you are just tuning in, let's see here. If you're out there and you're just tuning in, please share, like, share, and subscribe. It's going to be live tonight. So give us a call. 384-2626. 384-2626 is the number. About to go live here in just a few minutes. You can check out my, yeah. Oh, man. Why do they always put on crappy music right before the show? Like, share, and subscribe. Got an interesting night. Interesting night for you tonight. Go ahead and share it everywhere. I gotta listen to my audio here. See what my cue is. Looks like we've got about 2.5 minutes. Hope everybody's day is going good. Queen Elizabeth, gone. She is gone, man. My question is, what exactly did she do? I mean, I get it, she was a queen, but I'm not trying to be a jerk, but not sure if I ever actually saw her do anything. Sounds insensitive. Did I go too hard on Anderson Land last week? I guess we'll find out. I think tonight we had to, we were competing with bingo, if that tells you anything. I guess we'll see. Competing with bingo. I don't know what kind of music this is. This is what old people listen to. Walk like an Egyptian. Man, that stuff wasn't cool 20 years ago, much less when I was growing up. I know. I look cute. At least that's what somebody said. I say somebody. That's my wife. Here we go. Buckle up, son. About to get real. Here we go. Open up with some Linkin Park for you. You are listening to Not on the Payroll right here at KJAS 107.3 FM. Man, oh man, do we have a night in store for you. We got a little feedback. Not in the headphones, not in the microphones. We got a little feedback this week specific to the interview last week. So we'll dig into that a little bit here in a bit. But, hey, this is Not on the Payroll. We appreciate you tuning in each and every Thursday night, 7 o'clock. If you are looking for us out there and you want to check us out on YouTube, we are live on YouTube right now. You can go check that out. We will have this up and available after the show. But here's the thing. If you want to correspond back and forth with us on YouTube, you can actually jump into the chat there. Notonthepayroll.com. You can go check us out there. Check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, and at our website. Also, here's the thing. If you're looking for us out there online somewhere, just look for the gorilla with the red headphones. And the gorilla with the red headphones will lead you to Jesus in the long run. So there you have that. Hey, here's the thing. Here's what I'm interested in. I am interested in what you have to say tonight. I want you to give me a call, 384-2626, 384-2626, and let's talk. 384-2626. You can call me, and let's start playing this game. What is the game? The game is, what do you want to talk about tonight? Are you devastated that Queen Elizabeth died? Are you devastated that Queen Elizabeth died? I can't say I'm devastated. Hey, I really don't know what the lady did other than be a queen and get a bunch of pictures taken of her. Maybe she did some cool stuff. And maybe that shouldn't matter. Maybe it should just matter that she's no longer with us. I don't know. Are you hacked off about Joe Biden's speech? Are you one of these Trump MAGA Republicans out here and you're chapped about the speech? Are you upset about the beer and liquor ordinance here in Jasper? A lot of information's come out. You know, it was said a few days ago that I kind of overstepped my bounds maybe a little bit talking about that. But the truth is, anybody who knows what, contracts look like and ordinances and things like that. I'm not a wizard, but I will say that, it was pretty self-explanatory if you looked at it. Here's the thing. If you're online, go check us out. And if you would share us. We got an interesting night for you. Did you guys hear what Deborah Birx had to say? I don't know. Maybe you did. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you don't even know who Deborah Birx is. Well, she's not local. She's actually the white lady that was hooked up with Anthony Fauci telling us that we all needed vaccines. So she had some interesting things to say this week. Is Anderson Land running or is he not running for mayor? Man, to be honest with you, I think there's some people out there who think I was a little bit rough on the councilman, feel like I was a little bit too strong on the councilman, and all I can say is this: I'm still confused. I don't know whether or not I need to go back to some sort of schooling to try to figure out what exactly the man's trying to say about whether or not he's running or not. Are you out there? Do you feel like you've been lied to? Because obviously. I don't know if anybody did any intentional lying, but I will say this. You're paying 10%. Well, you may not be paying 10% here in Jasper, but they capped it at 10%, or should I say, restricted it to 10% on your utilities. There's a lot of folks upset about the fact that there was already a 3% restriction. If we don't want to use the word cap, we'll just talk about restriction on your utilities. And now, after the work and push of Councilman Land, we're up to 10% now. So anyway, neither here nor there. Maybe you got some things you're chapped at. Maybe you don't like me and you just want to let me know. That's fine too. I got no problem with that. One of the things that I do want to do right now is for everybody listening in the Jasper, Texas area, I got something to say to you. If you're out there and you're a business, I want to put out a challenge to you. And I want you to hold tight for the challenge, okay? Hold tight for the challenge because I got one for you, okay? We're going to raise some money tonight. We're going to raise some money, and no, it's not going in my pocket. No, it's not going into Not on the Payroll's coffers. But here's the thing. I've got a challenge for you. I'm going to hit you with the challenge at the beginning. And as soon as I get done telling you about our awesome sponsors. Why are our sponsors awesome is mainly because they help keep us on the air. They help keep us on the air, and not only that, they help us take care of the bills here. So we're gonna shout out to them because these guys are awesome. Stuart Glass right here in town. You know them. They've been with us from day one. Stuart Glass, Craig, Vicky, and Sammy Stewart. They've been doing glass pros in the glass industry. Is it your car? Is it your house? Man, I don't even know. Man, maybe you have a one of those old VW Bugs or something like that, and you need glass in it. Or maybe you have a she shed or a man cave or something like that. You need to get glass put in. Maybe you have a skyscraper somewhere, and you need glass put in for that. All you got to do is touch base with them. That is Stewart Glass right here in Jasper. They're great folks, and they take care of business. Lakes Area Pawn. If you're out there and you're needing a little bit of money, you can always sell stuff down there at Lakes Area Pawn. Just make sure it's not stolen. Don't take some stolen stuff down there. That is not cool. That's not kind. To quit stealing from your neighbors. It's garbage. Be a good neighbor. Go down to Lakes Area Pawn. If you're looking for weapons, if you're looking for, and I say weapons, I use that loosely. I mean, well, I guess they are weapons. Pistols, knives, swords, I don't know, bow and arrows, crossbows. You might be looking for tools. Maybe you're going to work and you're looking for tools and you need an air compressor, or you need socket wrenches or something along those lines. Go down there and touch base with those guys down there at Lakes Area Pawn. If you're out there and you're listening on YouTube, please share and subscribe. We would appreciate that. Hollis Tire. Hollis Tire is the Cooper provider in the area. Here's the thing. Whenever I say Cooper provider, I mean they are a distributor for Cooper. Now, here's the thing. If you like Toyos, or if you like Nitto, or if you like any of these other tires out here, they can hook you up with that as well. Hollis Tire is the name in the tire game in Jasper, Texas. Get down there and see them. They do great work, and they will take care of you and your needs. Two Bros, Wealth and Legacy Solutions. You say, what the heck is that? Well, here's the deal. If you go down and you talk to a man named Gary Danar right here in town, he owns and runs Two Bros, Wealth and Legacy Solutions. What do they teach you to do? They give you the solutions to wealth and legacy. Most of us around here don't even know what those two words mean. And if you don't know what those two words mean, Gary Danar can help you out. Now, here's the thing. Just because you're broke right now does not mean that you have to be broke whenever you retire. So here's my encouragement for you. Get down there, talk to Gary Danar. He can talk to you about life insurance. He can talk to you about all different kinds of things. Investments, setting up for retirement, he can hook you up. Gary Danar down there at Two Bros Wealth and Legacy Solutions here in Jasper. That's our 4 sponsors. Now listen. Tonight's going to be an interesting night because you, Jasper, Texas, or wherever you listen to us from, I'm asking you to reach out. Touch someone. No, not like that. Hey, here's the deal. Give us a call. 384-2626, 384-2626. Tell me what's on your mind, because we want to know what's on your mind tonight. I'm running solo tonight. Had a couple of other plans fall through and things like that, but I wanted to hear from you guys here in Jasper. Is Anderson Land running? Is he running for council? Mayor? What is he? Is he? I don't. Maybe. Who knows? Here's the thing. Call me and let me know if you know, because it was very confusing last week. We had a long, drawn-out conversation with Councilman Land, and I don't know whether by the end I was coming or going. I was confused on a number of points, and but here's the thing. What I love about this show is that sometimes we give you an opportunity whenever I'm here in town and not away on work. Most of you guys are out there working. And I pride myself on being kind of champion of the blue-collar working class folk here. People who love freedom, love the First and Second Amendment. And to be honest with you, we like to open up the phones to you. Give me a call, 384-2626, 384-2626. If you've got something you want to chat about, you want to throw out here. Were you upset with my conversation with Anderson Land last week, Councilman Land here in Jasper? Were you upset with Joe Biden's speech? I'll be honest. Man, I think we got a problem in this country, man. And it ain't looking good. It is not looking good. Matter of fact, it's very disturbing. To sit and listen to the speech, the president's speech, was very concerning for me for the future of this country and the future of peace. And here's one little takeaway before I jump off into my challenge for businesses here in the area. It seemed to me that it was the first time, maybe not the first time, first time I could say in my lifetime, I'm 45, that I ever watched a president call for unity and call for coming together while also alienating a large portion of the population. It was strange. It was weird. And I don't know if you thought this or not, but it almost seemed like this was a pre-recorded speech that was played as though it was live from 2020. Because I don't know about you guys, but, to be honest, Joe Biden hadn't been talking too much sense here lately. But he rambled on about he won the election and this type of deal, and we just, we MAGA Republicans out here. And I say we. Honest to God, I'm not a MAGA Republican, but I will say this. After I got done listening to his speech, I wanted to order a MAGA hat. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if that's just a rebel in me here in Southeast Texas, but, man, why are we alienating each other like that? It's just odd. It's odd. And it had remnants of the shell game. You remember the shell game back in the day? Some of you guys have seen it, where you got 3 shells down and you got a $20 bill underneath the shell, and you're moving it around, you're watching one hand, but you don't see what the other hand's doing. And then there's no $20 there. Your $20 is gone, right? So it seemed like a shell game in a way. Here's my challenge to Jasper businesses. Jasper businesses, if you're out there, I would like you to listen up. Jasper businesses, are you a business owner out there? Here's the thing. The Jasper Community Theater is trying to raise funds right now, okay? I'm not beating up on nobody. I'm not trying to be mean and hateful, but here's what I'll say. They're in the process of trying to find a new location, and they're trying to get more events set up. They're trying to get plays and all kinds of things, all kinds of activities going, again, for the Jasper Community Theater. There's not a lot of things in this community that bring us together. I know tonight we actually might be competing with a bingo game, and that's fine. I've got no problem with that. But I will say this. The Jasper Community Theater is all about bringing folks together to watch some good entertainment, have fun, enjoy each other, and enjoy the talents of those here in the community. Here's what I would say with my challenge. I would challenge, if you're a business out there, they're trying to raise $20,000, okay? 20 grand. Now, some people out there want to panic and want to, pass out whenever, whenever you start talking about 20 grand or something like that. 20 grand is not a lot of money. And here's the fact. At the end of the year, I know a bunch of you companies out there are looking to try to give to good causes. Why? Because it's good to give. And not only that, it's awesome to have a tax write-off. So there you have that. You have a tax write-off opportunity here with the Jasper Community Theater. Now here's what I'd like to open up for tonight. I'd like you to give me a call, 384-2626, and if you're interested in pledging some money to the cause here, the Jasper Community Theater fundraising, and you're a business out there, give me a call. It's 20 businesses dropping $1,000. 20 businesses putting $1,000 in the hat. That pretty much takes care of the situation, and it allows the lovely ladies and the men and women over there at the Jasper Community Theater to continue on and pursue a location in the whole 9 yards. $20,000 is no money. It's really not any money, especially for the businesses in this area. Now, what's crazy is this. A lot of people don't realize the amount, the quality of business leaders we have in this community. We have some really smart people here in this community. So my challenge for you would be this. If you're a business out there, you're looking for a tax write-off. If you're a doctor, a lawyer, somebody like that out there, and you're looking for tax write-offs, that type of thing. Or if you're like me, basically a nobody. If you're just a person out here who's trying to, help move the football down the way, just move it down the way a little bit more for somebody else. and you want to pay it ahead, here's what I would challenge you with. Give me a call tonight, 384-2626, 384-2626 here in Jasper. And while we're on the air, I'll just take down whatever your name is or whatever the case is, and we'll see if we can't find this $20,000. I think that'd be pretty cool. Here's the thing. It's a good cause, and it helps a lot of local young talent. I like it because, to be honest with you, it's almost like our young kids have a place that they can actually go, and they can kind of test out the field a little bit, if you want to say it that way. They can kind of test out and see whether or not they need to work on their craft or their skill. So that's a cool thing, especially for these young kids these days who are looking to get into the arts and that type of thing, from music to dance to all of it, plays and things of that such is, it's the Jasper Community Theater. So if you want to jump in, 384-2626. Let us know what you're looking to pledge, and then I'll just have them contact you. I will have Miss Riggins contact you guys, and then they can kind of figure out how to get the funds and that type of thing. So, or you can go over to GoFundMe and look up the Jasper Community Theater, and you can give right there. Having said that, let's get on to whether or not Anderson Land is running. I had a number of people. A couple of people felt like I was a little bit hard on the fella. I've been around Anderson a number of times. Matter of fact, he was gracious enough to be one of our first guests at the first part of the year. Okay, and this is when the 10% versus 3% was going around, and so I don't know. I was wondering, sometimes whenever I have these conversations, I get kind of dialed in to the interview and that type of thing, and then what happens is I kind of step back later and I'm like, man, did I miss something? And so this afternoon, while preparing for the show, I decided to go back and actually listen, and I just thought this little transition was very interesting, and I want to play it for you right now. If you want to go and check out the full interview, you can actually, when it starts getting to the meat and potatoes, if you will, it's about 35 minutes into the show where we start talking about whether or not he wants to run for mayor or not. So, I don't know. I'm going to play this for you, and I just want you to help me. Am I missing something? Here it is.
But yes, I am. So at this point, to answer your question, you wouldn't want to go on the record officially and say that you're going to run in 2023.
No, I don't want to go on the record officially.
Okay.
There's a yes and then a no.
Am I considering it? Yes.
And then there's a yes.
Am I considering it?
Okay, so let's do this. Instead of going officially, we'll just do a 1 to 10 scale, like I do with a lot of things. 10 being, yeah, I'm definite, so we're not going to commit to that. And 1 being, hell no, I'm not running.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there you go, ladies and gentlemen. I think it was pretty clear. Hell no, I'm not running. And then, yes, I'm absolutely running. So here's the response.
Where do you fall on that 1 to 10 scale?
12.
You fall on a 12.
Didn't bat an eye. Did not bat an eye. So we went from a yes to a no to a yes to a no to...
You know what that means.
For running next year.
You know what that means.
So I think...
For running next year. He says, you know what that means. You know what that means. I'm just like, okay, well, maybe he's running. I have no idea.
It's official, ladies and gentlemen. I'll step out on a limb here.
Don't break that limb.
I'm a large fellow.
See, then he poked fun at me being fat. That was the part that caught me off guard. He poked fun at me for being fat. So my question is, I don't know. Is the young man running? I say young man. I guess he's about my age, maybe a little bit older. Who knows? But got great complexion. But I couldn't figure out what he was saying. From 0 to 10. if you're out there and you hear what I'm talking about right now, give me a call, 384-2626. Is Anderson Land running or not? What did you think about the interview? I don't know. I went from initially saying rumor has it. See, because when we started that little clip there, he said yes, to answer your question, yes. Well, he was answering the question that says rumor has it that you're running next year in 2023. And then he says rumor has it. Rumor has it. He wouldn't answer the question. And then he asked me if I'm asking him directly. I said, I don't know how much more direct I can be. But rumor has it. I don't know, man. It seems like sometimes when you ask a direct question, we might not get a straight answer because there's like 3 or 4 yes and no back and forth. So I don't know. I don't know what your thoughts are. Did you guys hear what Deborah Birx had to say? Deborah Birx. Do you know who she is? I hope you do. It's the lady that kept telling us to go get a vaccine. You remember that? When we were all scared to death? We were all going to die? We were all going to die? Oh, man. If you don't go get your vaccine, we're all going to die. So she was the doctor that kept telling us that, along with Mini Fauci, little miniature Fauci. I could never figure out whether or not how tall Fauci was. Tall. He always seemed like, I don't know, he seemed like a weasel, to be honest with you. But here's the thing. Deborah Birx sat there looking the motherly type with the scarf around her neck and the whole 9 yards. She made a statement just a few days ago. She says, I knew these vaccines were not going to protect against infection. And I think we overplayed the vaccines. And it made people worry. Well, I can't say that I really want to trust anybody in media these days. Especially after watching this theater. Not the Jasper Community Theater, but this whole theater of this political game that they played on us. We all got played in a way. Is there a sickness out there? Yes. I know people right now who's got COVID right now. But we got played because of a product was available. Came mass-produced, available for sale. I don't know if you're out there and you still believe we live in a world where when there's a sickness that happens, that good men and women go to work trying to find the solution. Now, I think there are a few people who go out there and they try to find a solution. But then I think you got companies like Pfizer and some of these other companies that are out there. And what they do is they're looking at the bottom line. How quickly can we get something out there? We don't have to test it. All we do is throw it out there to the people. They're going to lap it up like a bunch of dogs. We get to make the money, and then we're exempt if it kills somebody. There is not a business out here. There's not an oil and gas business. There's not a timber business. There's not any kind of other businesses out here where you can be exempt from the product you provide, killing somebody, and then you have no liability in the mix. There is no business out here like that. But here's what's crazy. They stood up in front of us. They did the theater thing. They got Miss Birx up there. She looks like a nice, sweet lady who would never tell you a lie. She would never lie to you. Why don't you guys just take the vaccine? We all need to do our part and take the vaccine. Now, I'm not anti-vaccine. I'm not anti-vaccine at all. Here's what I am. I'm anti being lied to by a bunch of people who think we're just a bunch of hillbillies out here in the woods who can't put 2 and 2 together and don't know how to operate a computer system to get on this worldwide interweb to figure out what the hell's going on. Listen, she said, I knew these vaccines were not going to protect against infection. That is a direct quote. And yet she sat there and told us the entire time, go out and get your vaccines. It's going to prevent infection. We've got this grand theater out here, and it's disturbing. So you've got Biden who's sitting here saying, listen, no, wait, hold up, guys, hold up. We've got MAGA Republicans and the Trump and the MAGA Republicans. He kept mentioning that. And I'm sitting here going, dude, you won already. What are you talking about? Trump and the MAGA Republicans are an example of an extremism that threatens the very foundation of our republic. No, let's be real clear. This theater that you guys put on, the theater of shutting down businesses, the theater of requiring everybody to run around with these masks, the theater of people not being able to go in and visit their loved ones while they were dying. You were not allowed to go visit people while they were dying, your loved ones. The theater of it all. And I'll be honest with you, it makes me mad as hell to sit here and listen to story after story. Oh, so-and-so, brother or sister so-and-so got down sick with COVID. They had only let one person go in there. Or in some cases, they wouldn't even let one person go in there and people died alone. They died alone. And we sat here, idly by, wringing our hands, running down to go get vaccines. All because of theater. If you watch it on TV, it's got to be true, because surely they wouldn't lie to you. Surely they will. They've been lying to us the whole time. Not saying that COVID's not a disease. Not saying a vaccine may not help at some point. But go look at the numbers. Go look at the numbers. I've got family members right now sick with COVID. I'm not even saying that it's not a real thing. I believe it's a real thing. I got sick with COVID myself. But the theater and the turning up of, and this is where I go back to my conversation with Anderson Land, the inflammatory talk is absurd. It is absurd. When we jump into inflammatory speech about stuff we may or may not know about, this Deborah Burke sat here and knew. She says, I knew the vaccines were not going to protect against infection. And yet, she kept that truth under wraps and walked out there with that motherly smile. And she encouraged everyone to go down and go get your vaccine. All right now, boys and girls, here's what we need to do. We all need to line up. We all need to put our finger over our mouth and don't talk while we're in line, because that may spread the COVID germs. Inflammatory talk, flip-flopping back and forth. Then you've got Joe Biden, our president, saying that Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans are an example of an extremism that threatens the very foundation of our republic. Man, I'll be honest with you. You know what threatens the foundation of our republic more than that? The fact that we have a man who is obviously losing his mind. They keep propping him up. I watched the movie Elvis this week, and it made me want to, there was a few scenes in it that made me want to throw up. It was basically about the prostitution. Now, I'm not really an Elvis fan. Elvis was dead and gone the year that I was born, okay? I'm not really an Elvis fan, all right? Never have been. But I was intrigued by the story they would want to share about the man, okay? There was a scene in the movie where he falls down or he's passed out or whatever, and everybody's gathered around him, and he's like in a hallway heading toward the stage, and he's passed out, and this is later in his life. And Colonel Parker, who was his manager, steps up and says, I don't care what you have to do, doctor. You get that man on that stage. To be honest, if we're going to be honest here, ladies and gentlemen, the very foundation of our republic is threatened by the fact that we're doing the very same thing with a president right now. We're doing the very same thing. We're propping, at some point it becomes, I don't know what the term is. But at some point it becomes, we're all party to taking advantage of an elderly man who is losing grip on reality in multiple ways. But he wanted to bang the gong, and he wanted to jump into inflammatory speech, just like the other night. Just like the other night whenever I'm talking to Anderson Land and we're talking about the ordinance here in town, the beer or liquor ordinance that allows vendors to sell down here at the city events. And he says, I don't know who's practicing law without a license. Well, okay. Hang on. Is it the lawyers, the city lawyers are the ones who's putting together the ordinances? Or is it you guys leading the community? Well, from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong here, guys, but from what I understand, it's kind of 50-50. City council comes up with ordinances. It's presented to the lawyers. And not just one, I don't think. Presented to the lawyers, made available for the right verbiage, and they go from there. But this whole, I don't know who's down there practicing law without a license, is the same kind of crap that's coming out of Biden's mouth when he says Donald Trump. And I'm not a huge Donald Trump guy. I'm not. I think the guy, if he would have shut the hell up, and if he would have took a couple of courses on being presidential, he would still be the president right now. Maybe, maybe not. But this categorizing, or this blowing these flames, these little flickering flames, or just dousing it with gasoline about somebody that's down there practicing law without a license. Well, that sounds cool, but here's the fact. I don't think that's how it works, bud. It's just like the situation with the MAGA Republicans being some sort of extremist group out here that threatens the very foundation of our republic. I don't know, man. At what point do we get sick of this crap? All I can say is this. We need to better hold each other accountable. We need to better hold each other accountable for the words that come dripping out of our mouth. I'm talking to somebody the other day, talking to a female, and she made a statement. She says, somebody said I was crazy the other day. And then all of a sudden she starts clapping her hands and like moving around and gyrating. She goes, y'all don't know how gangster I can get. Y'all just don't know about me. See? And I'm sitting there going, this country's losing their mind. And we got a front row seat to the theater. If you're out there right now and you want to chat it up, let's get to it. 384-2626, 384-2626. You don't know how gangster I could get. You don't know about me. Really? Well, all right. We'll see how far that gets you. This inflammatory speech has got to stop, and we got to begin to hold people accountable who do it. I understand if you have a vested interest in fanning the flames of turmoil in society. I get that. Or maybe you fan the flames of conspiracy theory or something along those lines. But somebody needs to be held accountable, because at the end of the day, we're all here together, and there ain't a whole lot of peace to be found. I don't give a crap what they say in the churches. Most of the people in the churches are scared to death too. Am I crazy? I don't know. Maybe I'm just as crazy as everybody else. I knew that the vaccines were not going to protect us against infection. Why isn't that person behind bars? Why aren't they behind bars? Do you believe Anderson was telling the truth last week? I don't know. I know these long pauses are uncomfortable for some people. I don't want to go on the record. I will go on the record. I might go on the record. I'm a 12 out of 10 for running next year. Who the hell knows? How did you guys feel out there realizing that some of you guys signed the petition that increased the restriction of your utilities up to 10%, from 3 to 10%? Most of you didn't know till last week it was 3%. There's a lot of people in this town that didn't know that there was a 3% restriction on the utilities. I know that because some of the smart people I'm around didn't know that. I'm going to tell you how I found out. I walked into City Hall. I can't remember what day it was. It was sometime last week. It was obviously before Thursday night. Walked into City Hall, asked the little lady at the front desk. I said, "Yes, ma'am. Can I speak to the city manager, please?" I said, Can I tell her who you are?" I told her, "I'm Jay Sharp. I'd just like to speak to her for a few minutes." Went in there, and I don't know Miss Kelly. I don't know her. All I know is reputation or what I've heard. And I've heard a couple things. And so I wanted to go see for myself. You know, sometimes when you're told somebody's the boogeyman, you're not expecting to walk away warm and fuzzy, right? But she seemed like a pleasant lady. I walked in the door, sat down with her. I said, "Ma'am, can you help me with this 10% restriction on the utilities? Rumor has it out here that there was a 3% restriction on utilities. Is that true?" She said, "Yes, sir." I said, "Is there any way I could get a copy of that? Or at least see it?" "Yeah, absolutely." Turned around. We got it taken care of. Got it in my hand. I read it myself. Now, I don't know. Seems like last week whenever I was talking with the councilman, he wanted to point it at the city manager. But it didn't seem like it took me less than 3 minutes by the time I walked in the front door to actually have it in my hand. So I don't know. I don't want anybody to feel like this is an attack on anybody, but I'll just say it like this. Scripture says, "Let your yes be yes and your nay be nay." I don't want to get all religious off on you guys, but here's the fact. If your yes is a yes and your no is a no, people can count on that. When you say yes to something, you commit and you stick behind it. If you say no, you commit and you stick behind it. If you're an elected leader in this community and you make a decision that costs the people money, you should either stick behind it or apologize. Say, "Hey, I was not informed. I was not informed." Now, the next question is, well, why weren't you informed? Ain't that your job? Maybe. But turning around and blaming it on city management is questionable at best about an individual's character. Now, there's been a lot of people out here want to challenge the character of Miss Kelly. And here's the thing, maybe I don't see the full picture, and I got no problem admitting that. I don't see the full picture because I ain't eyeball deep in Jasper politics. I got to go work a job for a living, just like everybody else does. But the lady that I met was not the ogre that I had been led to believe she was. She was not like some sort of wicked princess or wicked queen up on a hill somewhere petting her dragons. Wasn't like that. It was very open, very warm. She seemed very personable. And I was impressed. Now, granted, has she done everything right? I don't know. All I'm saying is this. I think sometimes what happens is this. We get these narratives going. Matter of fact, you know what? Matter of fact, I'm going to take a little page out of Mike Lout's book. I'm going to take a little page out of Mike Lout's book for a second. There's a lot of people out here who've got plenty of opinions about Mike Lout. When he was mayor, before he was mayor, after he was mayor, whether or not, he was good, bad, or ugly for the community. Okay? One thing that I can say about Mike is this, and I know him. I believe his heart is to do good. Okay? I believe his heart is to do good for this community that he loves. Now, it's a love-hate relationship, kind of like me and a dog that I own. It's a love-hate relationship between us. We both kind of growl when we look at each other. But at the end of the day, when nobody's around, he comes and lays down beside me, and I'll pet him on the head. But the moment somebody comes out there, we get all postured up again. Now, I'll say it like this. I watched Mike Lout stand in front of a firing squad of people who was wanting to recall him a number of years ago. And he made a statement that's always stuck with me. He said, you know what's crazy? He said, in this town, his question was, and I'm going to paraphrase a little bit, but his question was, how could they kill Jesus, the Son of God? Now, Mike's he's never tried to communicate to anyone that he was perfect. Mike is quite the opposite in his communication. He does not mind telling on himself. That's one of the things that's endearing about him. Okay? If he screwed up, by God, he's going to tell you. You may not like the truth that comes out of his mouth, but at the end of the day, you know you're going to get truth as he sees it. Now, he says, how could they kill the Son of God, Jesus? How could they kill this guy? He said, I think what happened was, somebody probably came up and said, you know what, we don't need to be killing old Jesus here. We don't need to kill Jesus. He's the Son of God. Why are we killing him? And somebody over here is like, you know what, man. Well, here's the deal. We already hewed out this big old cross. Old cousin so-and-so's been working on this cross a mighty long time, so we already got it laying here, and we already got these nails. So it's already gone too far. I think if you guys have been around Jasper anytime, you remember this. It's already gone too far. Might as well go ahead and kill him. By God, he's here. He's here. We got the hammer and the nails, and we got the cross and the whole 9 yards. So let's go ahead and kill him. Here's what I'm saying. Sometimes I think out here we get so wrapped up in the narratives that's going on that we forget that we're just dealing with people. Are there good people? Yes. Are there bad people? Yes. Most of us fall somewhere in the middle. Most of us fall somewhere in the middle. I don't give a crap what you do on Sunday morning. You know what? Because most of you guys don't want the preacher to see what you're doing. And some of you preachers out there yourselves, you don't want your parishioners to see what you're doing on Friday and Saturday night. Most of us feel that big old void between good and bad. we kind of fill out that gray area. And that's where we live a lot of times. I think a lot of times we buy into these narratives and we forget we're dealing with people. We forget we're dealing with mothers, sisters, dads, brothers, cousins. We take the humanity away, and then it becomes a narrative, and that's when we can throw around stuff like MAGA Republicans and extremism that threatens the very fiber and the very foundation of this republic. We forget we're dealing with people out here who's working every day, busting their tail just to get by. Most of us are just trying to figure out. We're just trying to figure this thing out. How we can get from point A to point B. Trying to keep our mental health in check. Trying to keep everything in check. Trying to make sure the bills are paid. There's so many people out here that's just trying to get by. This narrative stuff, when we buy into this narrative stuff, and sometimes it's just too much. Sometimes we take away people's humanity. It ain't good. And the only way we can fix it is to fix around our doorstep. If you're out there and you're listening, man, I'm telling you, you've got to clean up around your back porch. Clean up your house first. Stop just buying all the narratives, man. Everything in media, and I'm talking about national media, everything in national media these days, all they're doing is pumping you with fear, doubt, and unbelief. Fear, doubt, and unbelief. That's all they have been doing. That's all they're going to continue to do. So to me, if that's the case, what do you believe? Where does your hope come from? I know the scripture says my hope comes from the Lord. But we got to start cleaning up around our own back porch and cleaning up inside our own house, because these narratives are killing us. You know what? I have never voted Democrat. I'm just going to throw that out there. I've never voted Democrat. I've got some friends of mine who are Democrats. And it's not a gap that I can't get past. I love some people in my life who are Democrats. They see things different. They see things different politically. You know what I'm saying? When are we going to get back to that? That's the big question. Let's go to our first caller. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, Biden sounds like he's trying to incite a civil war.
Yes, sir.
I've been hearing rumors of that last few months, and I've even heard rumors of a military coup.
Yes, sir.
But we already had a civil war. We don't need another one, especially this day and time.
I agree, 100%.
The civil war drove us apart and tore us up until the Spanish-American War came along. And Roosevelt said, well, this is a nice little war to pull us back together.
Yeah, nice
and
little war.
We became a world power.
Yeah.
But right now, there's so many enemies that want to do us in.
Sure.
Some of them are without, and some of them are within. We don't need a civil war.
I agree with that, man. I appreciate your call.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I agree. I think it was meant to incite, and I think it was meant to get everybody on fire. And I even saw some reports coming out toward the, after the speech about tonight, after the president's speech, the most searched term on Google was Civil War. I'm sitting here going, come on, man. They're playing us for puppets, folks. They're playing us for puppets. They had us afraid for 2 years that we were all going to die. They played you for puppets and took your freedoms. We sit here and we act like we're in a free state. They took them. No, you can't go see your loved one who's dying. We don't care if they're on a ventilator. I don't care. You can't go see them. Business is shut down. Industry's crushed all over theater. And then the doctor, the great and wonderful motherly doctor, comes out and says, we knew the vaccines weren't going to protect you. We got to start sweeping up around our own house. I'll be honest, if you don't, it's really, I don't know what the word flabbergasting means. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right. But it seems as though this whole situation is flabbergasting. Do you call people out around you who just look to inflame situations? Pour salt in open wounds? Carry on negative narratives about people in the community? Because I will be very clear to say this. The understanding or maybe the concern I had going and meeting with the city manager was quickly put to rest after sitting in the same room with her, talking and asking questions. Is she perfect? I would imagine she's not perfect. But I'd also imagine she's not some sort of a ghoul or some sort of something that would come out of one of these Game of Thrones type of deals. She's nothing like that. She seemed to be very easy to deal with, very easy to talk to. Now, does she have bad days like everybody else? Probably so. Here's the thing. Stop it. Stop inflaming things and topics. Stop it. You don't have to do that. We all have enough to get through in this life without having to deal with rumors being spread all over town. I mean, here's what's crazy. I had somebody on Facebook just the other day blasting me saying that, I use this platform to take advantage of those who are suffering and to profit off of, well, first of all, that's just an individual who don't have a clue what they're talking about. I want to encourage you to double down on those around you. If you hear them talking out of the side of their neck, put a foot in it. If you hear people running around talking rumor on everybody else, put a foot in it. You got to listen to what people are saying to understand the character of who they are. Do they spend more time flip-flopping back? Yes, no, well, kind of, rumor has it. I mean, what? I mean, here's the thing. I don't dislike Councilman Land. What I will say is this. If he wanted to talk about running for mayor, which, to be honest with you, before we went on the air, I asked him about, hey, man, what do you think about me asking you about running for mayor? Because that's what I'm hearing. He's like, oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, and then he does all this back and forth stuff. I think people are sick of that. I think people are sick of people who won't stand on a position. That's just my personal opinion. But I was out at a business today. Somebody said, hey, you know what's crazy? I mean, I heard the interview and that's not what he had told us. I mean, he told us that he was going to be running for mayor next year. I think, to be honest with you, I think Anderson Land is a good dude who, honest to God, is just trying to fill out whether or not he has any backing out here in the community to run. Because the thing he doesn't want to do is put his hat in the ring and 5 people show up to vote for him. He don't want to do that. And if he does that, that'll be humiliating. So he's kind of feeling it out. I get that. But man up and say you're feeling it out. Don't give me the cute yes, no stuff. Just say yes. Let your yes be yes and your nay be nay. That's what I'd encourage you on. If you're out there, make sure those around you walk with integrity. The only way to do that, sometimes you got to put that foot upside somebody's head. I don't know if you guys are MMA fans, but Kamaru Usman knows what I'm talking about. Got a foot right upside the head. Jasper Community Theater. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a worthy cause. I would challenge each and every one of you out there, if you have a business or you're looking to get some sort of tax write-off or give to a good cause or help in this process, or maybe you have a love for theater, hey, hook it up. It's $20,000. If we can find 20 people or 40 people, 500,000 here, whatever the case is, if you only got $10 to give, go to GoFundMe.com, Jasper Community Theater, look it up. Go to the .com, go to GoFundMe.com. GoFundMe.org takes you to a whole different deal. I don't even know what that was. But GoFundMe.com is where you need to go. You can give your money there. You can check on them. You can you can help out in the process. Talk to Miss Dana Riggins, who is the president, or you can talk to Teresa Ballou. They're local here in the community. You can actually go look those guys up and, help them out. Get involved. They do have an event coming up here in October. You need to get out there and support that. It's going to be dinner and theater. That's what's cool about it. You can actually go sit down, have a nice evening, and watch a cool play. So there's that. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you're tuning in or not, but I'll tell you this. We all need to take a little bit more time to clean up in our own house and make sure that we're walking with integrity. Because if you're not walking with integrity in the long run, what do you stand for? What do you stand for? It's like I said a minute ago. You may not like what I have to say, but you can know that I'm at least telling you all the truth I can tell you. I'm trying to be as clear and honest as I can with what we're doing here. If you're just tuning in, you need to check us out at notonthepayroll.com. Go check us out at YouTube. Check us out at Facebook. Check us out at Rumble. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to Not on the Payroll.